Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi, this is Natalie Jean and it's Natalie Jean. And today on Chatting with Nat, we have indie singer-songwriter Dema Raye. Dema Raye is an indie singer-songwriter from Saudi Arabia based in London, England, who is also grateful to be able to do this for a living. She draws inspiration from so many artists such as Imogen, Heap, Fiona Apple, Phoebe Bridgers, and The National. She's been singing and writing ever since she was a child. There's truly nothing out there that makes her happier than making music. So while we wait for Dema to come on, we will play her song, Train Tracks.
Guess
So that was Dema's train tracks. Dema is having some technical difficulties, so you're going to just hear me chat along until she can finally get on. So here at Chatting with Nat, we like to talk to individuals. It can be both male and female that love to speak their truth. And also, we empower women and men in the music and entertainment and performing arts. We definitely want to support independent artists that are doing their thing out there. This journey, we are all in it together, and it can be very hard and arduous and crazy. Like these things, like having technical difficulties right now when you're trying to do a podcast. Emma is all the way in London, and she's trying to log into the link. And so here I am chatting with Nat. And basically I'm chatting with Nat because I'm talking to myself. So, if you guys want to come on and get interviewed on Chatting with Nat, it'd be great. There's a lot of things that we can chat about. You can express yourself. You can say whatever you want. My podcasts are very authentic. I like to ask questions that are not prepared because I want you to be like stumped. Like, oh my God, that's a great question. Oh my God, I never thought about things this way. Because, a lot of people are gravitating more to the authentic people. So she finally has gotten on.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what happened. I was ready to go and the link's just not working, but thank God it finally worked.
All righty. Well, I was just talking to myself, basically, and just trying to, and I explained that you were having technical difficulties.
Thank you.
Sometimes that happens. So how have you been during this pandemic?
Well, I've been trying to make the best of it, really. In a weird way, I'm sort of grateful for it because it really gave me the time that I didn't have before to dive deeper into my music and to work on it more. So really good despite of, the unfortunate circumstances that we're in.
Right. How do you pronounce your name?
It's Dema.
Dema.
Just like Tina. So. Yeah.
Well, in the beginning, I said it wrong. Sorry about that.
It's fine. Everyone does. It's great.
Well, we know that these past couple of years have been super crazy. I call them the cray-cray period. I just don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. Sometimes I lay in bed and I'm like, oh, is this the 21st century? We're going through a pandemic. This can't be real. But like you said, people took time during our lockdown and everything that's going on to really think about life. And we know that the pandemic has been very bad, but there's been some pros in it, believe it or not. I saw with the weirdness of families walking together outside. That shouldn't be a weird thing, but when you don't see it, you're just like, oh, what's going on here? I've had people say they cut back on hours because they realized they weren't spending time with their families. Climate change, the pollution level actually went down because nobody was in the streets during lockdown. So the animals, the trees, nature was extremely happy with the fact that we weren't out there. There are people that quit their jobs. There are people that said, you know what? Screw this. I need to do something that makes me happy. If I'm living that could possibly kill me, I need to do something, exciting. And then for artists or people in the arts, they decided to rebrand. I talked to a lot of people that rebranded, took down their music, decided to do a whole different thing. A lot of people basically had self-introspection. They really wanted to take the time to really decide who they wanted to be as artists, if they want to be effective players, is this about fame? So for you, did you take the time, besides creating new music, did you take the time to really decide who you are as a musician and how you want to be perceived?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I actually got goosebumps all over when you said that you've talked to a lot of artists who have used that time to rebrand themselves, because that's exactly what I did. Because I worked on a couple of singles before making this EP, and that was years ago. That was around 2018 and 2019, and I had a completely different sound than what I have today, and I was writing very differently. I was just trying to keep it safe and fun, and I wasn't really diving into what I was really feeling. And it got to a point where I took a really long break from recording and singing to just really go deep into myself. And I was just using this time to better myself. So I spent most of my time reading and also meditating, because I had high anxiety during around the start of the pandemic. I was anxious and I was scared, didn't know what was going on, just like the rest of the world. But I really used that time to better myself. And in a weird way, it felt like I was kind of rediscovering who I was as a person and as an artist. And it really gave me the courage to write the songs that I was scared to write before, or thought that I couldn't write before. And I ended up writing the first song that I wrote for the EP was a song called Afterthought. And it's a really emotional song about just all these questions that we ask ourselves on a daily basis, and the feelings that we go through, and how we kind of discard our dreams and our desires for the sake of practicality, even though it doesn't make us happy. So really, it was a really hard song to write. But the second that it was out, I just kind of felt this wave wash over me, and it felt like the floodgates opened up, and I ended up writing from a place that I've never used before. I've never even seen before. So it was just, it was amazing. And I felt like as what my friends say, you kind of rose from the ashes just like a phoenix, because I felt like I really hit rock bottom. And, thank God that the sun came up and I was able to start all over again. That's what it felt like. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, what was it about the music industry that made you say, okay, Dema and music are supposed to be together? Was it something that you heard, you saw? What was it that inspired you to say, you know what, I've got to do this music thing?
Well, it was definitely, I used to love to sing from such a young age. The first memory that I have of me singing was watching The Little Mermaid when I was, I think, 3 years old, and I just loved it. I was feeling something that I just couldn't explain. It felt truly magical and just marvelous, and I just kept thinking, oh my God, I want to keep feeling this way all the time. So I replayed that movie over and over again, and I used to sing with her. And I remember loving this feeling of using my voice in that way. And I would just sing all the time, every day, which annoyed my brother a lot. But I grew up just singing all the time. And it wasn't until I think I was around 8 years old or 9 years old where I tried my hand at songwriting. And of course it was terrible, but it was just so much fun. And I loved that. I loved using it as an outlet because I couldn't express my emotions at that age. I just felt like it was really hard for me to explain what I was feeling or express it in an appropriate way. So I was using songwriting as an outlet, and I felt like I was addicted at some point because I would just write everything down. Even at school, you would see me in, recess time, and I would have my notebook and I would be writing down. Even if I was around my friends, I would still constantly be writing. And when I got older, this love for music never died. It was always there, no matter, right, whoever was around me that said this isn't a practical career. Like you should really, focus more on the business side of things. Right. All of my family members are business women and men, so I had a lot of pressure there. But thankfully I persevered and I pushed through. And it wasn't really something about the music industry as much as it was about the art itself. Because for me, honestly, nothing could make me feel the way that music does. And nothing makes me happier than writing and singing. And I knew that this was what I was going to do.
Well, that's great that you're following your dreams. Now,
thank you.
How important is it for you to be authentic in your songwriting and in your life?
Oh, that's very important to me. I really prioritize that. I really want to be honest and as authentic as possible in front of, cameras and my listeners, because, I think at the end of the day, the beauty of music, or the thing that connects us all, is the desire to have that emotional connection with somebody else. A lot of people say, when I hear this song, I just feel like I'm not alone. Everyone feels that way about a specific song. And that's just so beautiful. And, and I think the artists that are very special are the ones who are authentic and they're true to themselves and their artistry. And I know for a fact that, their fans and their listeners really appreciate that. And as a fan myself of so many artists, I really appreciate that too, to see someone, just be themselves and not try to put on this facade, or, and even when they're honest about, bad days or even a bad year sometimes, it's really inspiring to see how, they know that they have a large audience, but they don't let that get to them. They still want to have a genuine connection with people, because at the end of the day, I think that's what we're all here for.
I agree. The past couple of years have been crazy, and one of the things I learned, between the pandemic, the elections, George Floyd, and all that stuff going on, people wanted to gravitate to something real because of the fact that, touting fake news, this, that, and the other. People wanted something they could relate to. So people wanted something that they said, okay, this I understand. This is real to me. I can latch on to this. And people wanted hope. During the pandemic, I had time to do a lot of conferences, especially on TikTok, and TikTok is very interesting to me because you can see so many different things. You can see people being serious, giving you great advice, silly music, all kinds of different things. But the one thing they said was that the most authentic videos are the most popular videos on TikTok. Because when people are watching them, in their mind, they want to be able to say, oh my God, I could do that. Let me do a duet. Let me do this. Let me do that. And that's why the authentic ones are extremely popular, because it's something that those people believe they can achieve. Obviously, if they're watching mainstream artists do their thing, they like it, but it's not like they're going to go into their head and say, oh my God, I'm going to do that too. They want authentic.
Yeah.
They want something relatable. They want, they want to feel. And I think that during the pandemic, a lot of people had more time to listen to independent artists out there and get to know more of them. Because in my opinion, the difference between mainstream artists and independent artists, I think independent artists are way more deeper. They really talk from the heart. Not like Taylor Swift talks from her own experiences, but she has like great production. And when I think of independent artists, I think it's on a deeper level where the production is not so overzealous, where it's really that independent artist that is expressing themselves through music, and they're pouring out everything, and it's not overproduced. It's just them relating the story. And at least with independent artists, they can create the way that they want. They're not, I was at a songwriter session for country music because I do country music, and they're like, you have to rhyme with everything. They're just like, why? Isn't the point just to tell a story? So as independent artists, we have this openness. We can create whatever we want. And one of the things that I've learned, a lot of people are afraid to dip their toe or foot in trying something different. I love to try different things because, the other thing I learned is that people are tired of listening to the same stuff on the radio. If you turn on the radio, it's the same sound, the same people. It's almost like, okay, do these people have to pass away in order for other people to be seen and heard? Because independent artists don't have the same deep pockets as mainstream artists to be seen and heard. So to say all of this is that as bad as the pandemic was, it actually opened a lot of doors for many indie artists to be heard and seen. It's a fantastic thing. So, kudos to you for remaining authentic in yourself and your music and everything that you do. Now, what do you love about being an artist?
Ooh, that's a nice question. Interesting. Honestly, I love the fact that I'm able to, I guess, put into words things that I can't describe or express properly, and to send it off into the world and have people connect with that in their own way, and then have them reach out to me and tell me how that impacted them or their lives, or even if they just enjoyed it. There's just something about, and it doesn't come from a place of wanting validation necessarily. It just comes from a place of knowing that someone enjoyed something that I created. It, in some way, shape, or form, it enriched their lives for even a second, or just the length of the song. Because I think that's what I feel like when I listen to, a song that really makes me feel something. I love it. I enjoy the moment, or I cry with the artist. And and to me, that's just something so beautiful about being an artist. I'm so lucky and grateful to be one, honestly. Because again, and I think art in all its forms, not necessarily music, but it's this connection with people. And like you said, we're all searching for something real and something to make us feel something.
Right.
And, to be an artist is to kind of be in service to that. It's to be in service of the voice inside of you that is always wanting more. And sometimes we don't even know what that is. It could be more love. It could be more honesty, maybe even more fun. But I really think that, art really does, I guess, it's in service of that. It just always tries to reach you in that deep place that you don't even know how to reach, if that makes sense. I feel like that was really big.
So one of the things I've been telling people also is that, music is our superpower. Music can make so much difference in people's lives, whether they're angry, sad, upset, joyful, whatever. They can take one of your songs and say, I'm going to play Dema today because that's what I need at that moment. And that particular song they listen to gives them what they need at that moment. So that's why I tell independent artists or musicians or whoever's out there doing music, when somebody listens to your song, they're getting what they need. That's your superpower. Because you have the voice and the talent to bring forth what they need at that moment to make a difference in their lives. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I just got goosebumps all over. That was incredible.
Yeah, no, but it's true. And that's one of the things that I've observed during this whole poo-poo pandemic. Call it the poo-poo. That music makes such a bigger difference. Now, there's some genres where people are still fighting to be seen and heard because country music.
Right.
They don't have that many black people in there, and they're just like,
right.
There are a lot of up and coming, and people are trying to break down barriers, which is great. I never understand why. Music is music. There shouldn't be any hate or anything. We're all trying to do the same thing. The platform is big enough for all of us. And if the whole idea is to bring joy in somebody's life, we shouldn't care who's doing singing. Okay?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Unless they've done something crazy in their life, hurt somebody. This is a platform where we are trying to bring joy to people. And it's one of the best platforms to be on if you can do it. Remember, every day I say music is my superpower because I know for my goals, it's all about making a difference in people's lives. You know, because I do a lot of social impact message songs. It's all about that for me because we need, you know, we have this tool. We need to bring it out there. So thank God you're doing your thing. Thank God there's a lot of people doing their thing. Now, what is your songwriting process like? And if you get writer's block, how do you deal with that?
Ooh, this is really interesting because I recently had writer's block. So my songwriting process is very spontaneous. I rarely ever sit down and say, okay, it's time to write a song. It's always, you know, either a concept that just came to mind or lyrics that I just thought of or a melody that suddenly popped into my head. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that if you look at my voice memo app, I have over 2,000 voice notes.
Oh
So
my
I record everything and anything that can pop into my mind, and then I favorite them or I just put them in another folder. And you know, it's such a process, really. But again, it's very spontaneous. So you know, I either have the idea for a concept or a melody, and so I just pull out my recorder and I record, and I just kind of improvise. So I sing whatever I'm feeling, or I sing whatever the concept is about, even though I've never been in a certain situation. I just kind of think, okay, what would that person who has been in this situation feel like? Right. And I would just sing everything out. And sometimes it would be a long voice note ranging from, 5 to 10 minutes sometimes. And then what I would do is I would just listen back to it and write down all of the lyrics that I liked. And then I would start cleaning everything up and eventually, figure out the tempo and the time signature. And then, yeah, there you go. That's mostly how I do it. And sometimes it feels like a messy process, but for some reason that just really works for me. Because again, I think the fact that it's spontaneous and it's not something that is that I'm forcing myself to do. Because I feel like if I'm forcing it, it's not going to come as naturally, or it's really not going to flow. So yeah, that's the process. And how I get over writer's block is I honestly just leave it alone. If I feel like I'm blocked at a certain part of a song, or I'm blocked in a song in general, I just leave it and I go do something else, anything else. But mostly it's reading. I would always go and read a book, or sometimes poetry, and that instantly inspires me. Or I could just be, hanging out with my little sister watching a movie, and then boom, the lyrics just pop into my head. And recently that's exactly what happened. So yeah.
Yeah, when I get writer's block, I scream at the computer. I scream at the piece of paper, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. Something comes through, and nothing does, and then I walk away, and the next day something does come through, and I'm like you. I can't just, today I'm going to write. No, it doesn't work like that for me either. I have to be inspired to write. I know this woman that I interviewed a while back, and she had she's done it several times. She's done a 30-day challenge, writing a song every day for 30 days.
Wow.
And then, she's been able to do it. So she said some days, it could be just a few words. I mean, the song doesn't have to be that long lyrically. It all depends on trying to say. So I'm totally that with you. I have to be inspired. But the crazy thing is the best place for me to get inspired is in the shower.
Oh my God, me too.
I don't remember anything. I'll get out of the shower and I'll repeat, and sometimes I'll bring my phone to the bathroom so that I can try to repeat something, but it's not the same thing. And so I'm going to create a gadget that's waterproof, soundproof, that you can put in the shower. And then another friend said, she told me about this thing that you can buy on Amazon. It's like a waterproof pad, and you write. You can write on it with your pencil in the shower. Now I bought this thing.
That's amazing.
I have a habit of buying and putting them to the side. and not opening them for like a year later, but I have to go find that thing and put it in the shower to see if that really works. The creative process is very interesting. I usually just, I try to start out with the chorus and write around the chorus, and go from there. But yeah, it's super, super crazy. Now, I did play your song, Train Tracks, which was a beautiful song. Tell us what that was about.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. So Train Tracks was actually, I feel like it was years in the making, because I've had this, I remember recording a song just for fun through GarageBand 2 years ago, I think. No, but when I was 19, so back in 2019, I can't do the math. But I recorded the song and I called it Train Tracks, but it was not what we heard, what you guys heard today. It was something completely different, but it was this idea of kind of romanticizing a train ride in a way, just because I really, for some reason, I really love train rides. There's just something about them that I love, and it just makes me feel like I'm in a movie. It's great. But the inspiration behind this song was to kind of tell the story of time and how different people view time. Some people can love the fact that time is constant and the future is ever changing, and there are some people who don't like that at all, and they would rather have everything stay the same and would actually prefer to live in the past. And so Train Tracks is a song about a person leaving wherever it was. It could be, a relationship, or it could just be leaving their hometown to go somewhere else to follow their dreams. And so they're happy and they're excited, and they're looking back fondly on all the memories that they had. And in contrast, you can hear in the lyrics that the other person on the receiving end of the goodbye is really devastated and would rather live in the past. And they actually are living in the past, because they keep going to the places that we used to go to, and they're trying to get that feeling back again, but they know they can never get that feeling back, because it was just for that specific moment in time. So yeah, that's what Train Tracks is about. It's about hope and the future, really, and how you decide how you use your time and how you view your future, really. So yeah, I'm really glad that you liked it. That means a lot to me. It's definitely one of my favorites from the EP.
Great. Oh, I love the idea of Train Tracks. Now, I'm going to play your song Red Light. Please let me know what that's about.
Yeah, Red Light, so that was the first single. It's about an emotional affair, really. It's about two people who are, falling in love, but they're both in, respective relationships. And they know that, and basically tells a story of just they don't know that they're falling for each other, but it's very obvious, and they're trying to deny it as much as possible, and biding their time before either calling whatever they're doing off or calling their relationship off, because everything is very unsettling at the moment. And I really wanted to write a song about that, because I think there are so many songs about physical affairs and who cheated on who, but I really think an emotional affair is something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Definitely. No, yeah. That's actually a very good topic. You can achieve emotion. Your thoughts have power.
Yeah.
That's for
Definitely.
sure. All right. Well, let's play this Red Light.
Haven't been sleeping much these days. Lying in bed, soul, never locked in time. 'Cause I find refuge in moments we think are innocent till they're not. Are you ready to tell me night by my side? Doing all that justify your life. Can't move on, we both know I caught you right at your broken side. Caught you right at your broken side. There ways you look at me the way you do. There will be fine if we wanna touch too. Different streets on other sides. Adult people in private lives. Kills you the way you look in her eyes. You wish they were mine. Are you ready to tell me night by my side? Doing all that justify your life. Can't move on, we both know I caught you right by your broken side. Caught you right by your broken side. No way to save it, no way to get out of this mess under this red light we let down until it sinks in. Maybe we'll never regret all that we've done, just the ones we never did. And I see you in person, hard to see me laughing. Someone else talks, you know I don't find funny at all. No one makes me laugh the way that you do. No one makes you smile as big as I did. We talk for hours, talk for days, never making fun of your music taste. It was simple and it was light, was everything and more tonight. Can we leave it, leave us behind? Find a way to get back home.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have you thought about trying to get your music into film and television?
I mean, I have talked about that with my producer, and yeah, that would be really exciting. I would definitely be open to that.
No, you should definitely should. Your music, your voice would do well in that arena.
Oh, thank you.
Now you have your album Smoke Screens out. Why did you decide to write that album?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've always wanted to have an EP, but it's kind of the length of an album, really. So, but it was originally an EP, and I've always wanted to do that. And when I was writing the first song, which is actually the last song on the track list, Afterthought. When I wrote that, I got the inspiration immediately for Poison Ivy, and then Train Tracks happened, and then Red Light, and I had 4 songs, and I said, oh my God, wow, okay, so am I going to do them as singles, or what's going on? But something about them felt very interconnected, and so I knew that I needed to do an EP. I don't know how, but, I just set my mind to it, and, thank God it happened.
Now, which one of your songs do you love to perform the most, and why?
So, I haven't performed any of my songs live just yet, but I've been rehearsing, and I think one I really love to perform is definitely Poison Ivy. I love that song so much. And probably Red Light. That one's pretty fun. It's definitely more upbeat than the rest of the songs.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully, I can hear it being performed one day.
Yeah, I hope so too, yeah.
What are 3 things you wish you had known before you came into the music industry, before you got into the music industry?
Interesting. 3 things. I think that, the first thing is probably that it's perfectly fine to pave your own way. You don't have to necessarily follow somebody else's path. You can follow your own unique path, no matter how late you started or how you want to go about it. It's your journey, really. And the second thing is to really have solid, genuine connections with the people that you work with. Because I think we all know that the music industry, just like any other industry, it has its pros and cons. And there are people who are only in it for certain reasons that might not align to, with my reasons. So I really prioritize working with people who, have the same energy and values as I do. Right. And I guess number 3, I think just write whatever is in your heart and not what you're pressured to write or what you think the world wants to hear. Just write what you want to write. And that's something I really struggled with when I was writing my EP, because all the songs felt very unconventional and not what you hear in the mainstream. And I felt really insecure about that. But I was really grateful to have, amazing friends who always supported me, and an even more incredible support system in my music producer and sound engineer over there in Nashville. We worked remotely, and they were just amazing and always supporting me in my music, especially when I wanted to cut, because Afterthought it's around 8 minutes long, and I thought that was just crazy. And I said, oh my God, no, I think I have to cut it to 5 minutes. At least, and I was really happy that my producer, advised me not to do that and to be true to myself and to the song itself. I think those are 3 very important things to know before going into the music industry.
Basically, stay true to who you are as an artist.
100%, yeah.
Be your own unique self. Because, it's okay if somebody's trying to be a cover artist and they love to emulate somebody, but if you're trying to really get into this music game, come up, do your own thing. I think those are the people that stick out the most, and I love unconventional music. I do unconventional music. One person told me today, whenever you do a song, I never know if it's you. You always sound different, and I love that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm giving them the unexpected, so I totally agree with you. Now, what is one thing, an inspirational quote, a message, or whatever that you like to use to push yourself throughout the day, or when you're feeling down, or you want to get yourself inspired?
Wow, there's so much. One thing that always gets me inspired, and I really use this religiously, I listen to almost anything by Jonathan Larson. He's one of my favorite musical composers of all time. but specifically his song Louder Than Words. It's such an inspiring song. You know, it basically says actions speak louder than words. And it's so beautiful. And, you know, also piggybacking off of that answer is the quote, you know, every day you're either choosing between love or fear. And so always choose love. And that's something I always carry with me every day. In certain situations, I always ask myself, okay, am I deciding or am I acting out of fear or out of love and trust in myself and whatever the outcome is? So that's really important. And also just another thing, I watch a lot of Jim Carrey interviews and speeches. He's just such a ray of sunshine, and I love him. And he has a lot of great, inspiring speeches and just one-liners that he says. Yeah, he's great.
Phenomenal. Well, Dema, thank you so much for being on Chatting with Nat. Obviously, you're an amazing artist. I love your voice. I will follow everything that you do. I won't be stalker, but I will follow
thank you.
Everything that you do. I really appreciate your time on here. And remember that music is your superpower.
I love that. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was truly an honor, and I apologize for being late. I was really struggling and I was nervous. But, thank you so much for being so understanding, and it was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Now, everybody, that was Dema Raye on Chatting with Nat. She's an indie singer-songwriter. You got to check out her album. You got to check out her music. She's phenomenal. Go find her. She is on Instagram. Dema Raye Music. She's on Spotify. She's on Twitter, Dema Raye 9, SoundCloud, Dema-Raye. Where stream? You can linktr.ee. It's all in here in the body of the message in the Blog Talk Radio. Until next time on Chatting with Nat, this was Natalie Jean and Dema Raye. And here we go. We're taking you out. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.